Hey YouTube, I'm Electric Lord 3. Today I'm going to review the game we have all been waiting for, Capsule 2, Return of Darkness. That's right, you thought the first Capsule was amazing and will change the way you think of gaming? No? Well, who cares, because you got a sequel anyway. Let's start off with the story. The story for Capsule 2 is definitely a step up from the first game. Though it's still kinda unoriginal and basic, at least it's something though. Basically, the Dark Capsule is back and wants to get this big-ass gemstone that lays right in the middle between the three islands. Word of advice, Capsule's not the best place to hide it. Anywho, the Dark Capsule grabs the gemstone and stuff and... oh wait, sorry. Oh yeah, review. The story is better than the first, but still not great. Can we move on now? The next subject I want to talk about is the most important, gameplay. The gameplay is more or less the same as the first, but this time power-ups are added. I personally think this is a great addition to the game as it helps keep it somewhat interesting as opposed to just running and jumping. The controls still aren't the smoothest and are a little slippery, but you adjust to them pretty fast. The game also now has themed worlds as opposed to just random level selection. There are 6 worlds in total and they all have 3 levels with 1 bonus level per world. Which is fine, but only having 3 levels per world I found to limit the possibilities of what could be done with that world. Speaking of level select, the only glaring issue I have is how the level select links up to the story in no way, shape or form. It specifically states in the opening cutscene that the capsule's built 3 islands, and the gems are on the 3 islands. So you'd think that the level select would involve going through the islands. Not at all! This is what confuses me. Where exactly are these 6 themed worlds supposed to be set? Are they all on one island? Is it 2 worlds per island? How is it supposed to link up? I feel like there should be more of a connection there, and a little more indication as to how it all pieces together. Going back to the topic of bonus levels, they are actually unlocked differently in Capsule 2 than they were in Capsule 1. In Capsule 1 you had to find a potential secret exit somewhere in the level, which would complete the level for you and also unlock the bonus level. In Capsule 2, however, I personally believe it has a much better system. You have to collect 3 small yellow C's, in which if you collect 3, you get the bonus level. I personally much prefer the system as it gives the linear game a little bit more exploration. At times the C's aren't positioned greatly, but in general it's a good idea, even though it's been done before at times. A quick note is that the checkpoints in this game are also a lot less inconsistent, which I am pleased to report. This was quite a big issue in the first game. Enough about that. Let's talk about the graphical and visual side of the game. One of my biggest complaints about the first game was that it couldn't stick with an art style and felt a bit messy, as it could not decide whether it wanted to be cartoony or mildly realistic. This game though decides that it wants to take the mildly realistic look. How does it work? Pretty damn well, to be honest. Capsule always felt more like a cartoony game to me, but its realistic visuals were done well. It still had the odd cartoony element or texture, but overall it's fine despite the occasional graphical glitches and light flickerings. So how about the music? Well, as someone who wants to make music for games in the future, I can say that the music choice in Capsule 2 is actually pretty damn good, and much better than the first. There is the occasional track I don't like, and some just don't fit great with the level it's in, but overall I don't have many musical complaints. And the boss music is absolutely outstanding. I promise that's not because I made them and I'm biased, I swear. Speaking of bosses, how are the boss fights? Well, there are 3 in this game, final one obviously being the Dark Capsule, but the other 2 are minions of the Dark Capsule, first boss being Ice Capsule and the second boss being the Ghost Capsule. Let's start with the Ice boss. In general, it's already way better than the final boss of Capsule 1. He basically just avoids snowballs, and then when he stumps on the ground and does his ice attack, icicles fall into the water below, which you have to jump on to get to him and hit him. Rinse and repeat and you're done. My only complaint, which might be getting fixed in a future update, I don't know, is that the fire power-up has absolutely no use here. It was only ever used twice, and that was just to melt ice, so I feel like it was wasted potential and would be a great thing to implement. The next boss is the Ghost boss. Now, in my opinion, this boss was pretty lazily done. Please don't shoot me, I shall elaborate. Though it has the best boss music that I made in my opinion, the actual fight itself just seemed mashed together and was like, yeah, that's great. When you greet him, he starts off by breaking the 4th wall by saying you are 2/3 through your adventure. Then he starts mysteriously floating and chucks a table at you with telekinesis, which is a great way to start the fight, and then the fight happens. He attacks you by throwing tables at you that he just spawns out of thin air. In my opinion, this was such a pathetic way of attack, and the table throw in the beginning cutscene really loses its charm. You attack the boss by collecting 2 red gems, which then shoot a laser at the ghost boss. I think it's supposed to mean that the 2 lasers are used to reflect some sort of beam and hit him, but I'm not sure. Either way, the form of attacking the ghost boss wasn't very well explained. As for the final boss, it's actually pretty damn good. It's challenging as a final boss should be. At times the challenge is unfair, but in general it was a pretty good fight. You lure his attacks into machinery that then explodes, and then he gets pissed and just goes ape on you. Although I don't have a lot to nitpick on this fight, my only complaint is that the second verse is a lot easier than the first, which isn't really that great, but oh well, I'll try and let that one slide. The ending cutscene I felt was also a little rushed and went by fast, but I will let you watch that for yourself. Another feature I'd like to talk about quickly is the customizable capsule option. This felt like a feature that was added just because it could be. It's not terrible, but there isn't a lot of textures to choose from, and in general sometimes glitches out in the main game. Sometimes the textures won't load at all or just take a bit to load. Not a bad feature of the game, but still felt unneeded. Now, as far as multiplayer goes, there is unfortunately no split screen option in this. Although it's said that an online mode will be coming out at some point, it's not out yet, so I can't say a lot. I might do a mini review on the online itself if it does come out. Overall, Capsule 2 is a huge improvement to the first. Though it still has its problems and it might have been rushed to release a little fast, it's still a good game, not to mention it's free, so with that in mind I recommend it's definitely worth a try. Some parts of the game might be hard to figure out, sure the gems can be annoying to find, especially when you want to play those secret gem levels, but you will get there in the end and it's definitely worth a try. Overall, I give Capsule 2 Return of Darkness a 7.3 out of 10. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you want. And hope you enjoyed and everything. So I'll see you later, Sparks. Goodbye.